Hi everyone, it's your favorite person, Babi Mawela, and welcome back to another banging episode. We are back. I know you missed us, but don't worry, we're here to stay. Thank you for everyone that has joined, watched our videos, and engaged. If you're new here, welcome. Please follow the house rules, like, comment, share, subscribe, and click on the notification button so that every time we upload an episode, you get a notification. Thank you to everyone. We love and appreciate you. In studio today, we've got a very stunning guest. She goes by the name Nomthandazo Mavuso. How are you, Nomthandazo?
Hello, Bobby. I am well and
You
excited to
look
be with
so
you.
stunning. You look amazing.
Thank you so much. You also look gorgeous.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I tried. my audience are saying that I need to step up my game. So
Wow, you did. You definitely did.
thank you. And please, I don't want to do the introduction on your behalf. It's your time to shine. Please tell everyone who Nomthandazo is, where she's from, how did she get where she is. Let's get to know you more.
Yeah, thank you so much. So it's Nomthandazo, Nomti for short, Mavuso. So I am a senior manager in one of the corporates. So my passion is people, culture, diversity, and managing change. So I am here just to share my experience on all of those topics and more. I mean, we're just having a good conversation.
Yeah. And your background as a child, we're interested in that. How does your story go? To our listeners, trying to get to know you. Where did she go to school? Where did she, we want to know everything about you.
So I'm a girl from Soweto, Dobsonville, a Snake Park to be very much specific.
Okay.
Shout out to everyone in Snake Park. So I grew up in Soweto, brought up there, and everything I know today is what I've experienced there. So I went to a school called Sebetsa Otole Moputso.
Okay.
So Loxin vibes.
Yeah.
That's my high school, but yeah,
Okay.
even young, yeah. So yeah, man, it was a very happy childhood. Of course, not a great background.
Yeah.
So Snake Park is used to be an informal settlement before it was all formalized and everything. So believe you me or not, I was brought up Mkukwini. I was Mkukwini.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so yeah, and I've got 3 elder brothers.
Okay.
I'm number 4, first girl, and another girl after me. So we are 5. We grew up with 2 of our parents.
Okay.
Khona lapha kuleya love
Yeah.
engaka, you know. So yeah, that's who I am.
Okay. Okay, and I'm also from Soweto. Shout out. And it's very interesting as you share your story and as we're trying to get you more. Looking at your success now, what motivated you the most to become the impeccable person that you've become, sorry, and regarding the background based on the background that you come from.
Yeah, so I think wonke umuntu wants a proper decent life. I mean, obviously when you grow up in a particular environment, you think, oh, this is it, this is how
Yes.
life is. But as time went, I realized that, you know what, there's more life as I visited people and all of that. So I've always been a motivated person,
Yes.
wanted to have a good life, and I knew that my parents could not afford that. So I had to do my best at school. I had to learn more out there in terms
Yes.
of how to do that. So I read a lot, magazines, I wrote, I was very focused at school. And I was forever looking for opportunities. And one day I found an opportunity for applying for a scholarship
Okay.
from a teacher at school, and I completed the application, and luckily I got it, and that's what made me complete my first degree, which I made sure that I was so focused on it.
Yes.
And from there, I think the story began.
story
I
began.
did HR,
Okay.
Bachelor of Business Admin in HR, and that's so much where I am. It was focused on people. I was going to work with people and all of
Yes.
that, so I loved it. And I did a little bit of IT which is also quite interesting. So from there, then I could start working as an HR person. As time went, I could work in IT projects as a change manager, and I learned the ropes as I
Yeah.
go on. Yeah, so I think education is what I think I owe whoever I am to right now, and motivation and putting action.
I love that so
Yeah,
much. I
yeah.
really love that so much because a lot of people feel that their situation is the end. So I look up to you for that. And introducing our topic, it's the importance of a positive work environment. I feel that there are a lot of youth that watches our episode, and we feel that, we need to give them some insights of a working environment. We need to make them understand what it's like to be in a working environment for someone, especially who has never been in one. So I want to firstly understand, or make our viewers understand, what is the importance of in fact, before we even go there, how about we tackle what is a working environment and what's the importance of a culture in a working environment?
So a working environment is like, it's like being at home. If a family sets up, so we know we've got different types of families.
Yeah.
There are families environment where you feel yourself, you can ask what you want, you feel belonging, everyone is so supportive and all of that. So that's in a working environment, it feels like that, where you like, I work here, my colleagues feel like home, I belong here, they don't judge me. If I've got a problem, I can ask.
Yes.
And then you find work environments and family environments where, people are judgmental. You have to
Yeah.
think, what am I wearing before I go to an event?
Yeah.
Oh, what are they going to be asking
Yeah.
me? Hey, I have to tell them lies and say, I'm doing well. That kind of a toxic thing. In work environment, you sometimes find that where you don't really feel like you can be yourself.
Yeah.
You don't belong. It's just a place that you go. You work, and you go. You don't have support, and it's very, very, very much important for us to perform well.
Yes.
As human beings, to achieve the purpose that we are meant for. We need to be in a good environment. We are like a garden.
Yeah.
So if there's good fertile soil, then you can see the plant or flower booming because it's got support and everything, even us. So firstly, if you are, you don't know the work environment first, you have to determine what is my talent. And most of us don't know.
Yeah.
You have to get experience. But for you to get there, you have to be in an environment that is conducive for you to try things, to be yourself, to fail. And somebody says, pick yourself up, baby, let's go. It's not like the end of the world for you. So that's why it's important for you to understand what kind of environment am I working in, or am I subjecting myself in, and be able to assess whether it's toxic and it's going to make you focus on the toxicity, conflict, lack of trust, which means now you're diverting, you're not getting to your purpose and talent. Or is it a kind of environment that makes you find out who you are, it gives you chances, it's it's caring. Then in that way you are able to learn who you are, and thrive.
Yes, and thrive.
And thrive.
Okay, and I think as I'm listening to you, I'm just starting to think about the years when I started my first job. It was straight out of varsity, and I had to be on a work integrated learning program at a big corporate. So it was a very big jump because I had to firstly disconnect from being a student to a young working professional. So I want to ask you, Jorge, what is the importance of versatility as a young person? What is it important for one to be versatile and to be able to adapt in a working environment?
Very much so. And all of us, we have gotten that experience.
Yes.
Remember, you were a child in primary school, then, grade 7, standard 5, you thought, I'm senior. Next thing you go to high school and you see I'm a baby.
Yeah.
grade 12, and then you go to university your first year. So I think, first of all of us are capable
Yes.
of being flexible and versatile, and it's very important for us to be like that.
Yes.
Because we will always face new environments and challenges, and we need to be aware that, you know what, this is new, this is change, and how do I learn what it is, and how to just assess if it's a good environment for me. So I think, being versatile, being flexible is very much linked to your success.
100%. And I'm just also I'm thinking now, and I'm thinking of a person, for example, that feels kind of stuck, and they genuinely can't adapt to a certain environment. Do organizations, or in your experience, have you seen initiatives that were put in place to assist people who struggle with adapting in a very new environment, coming from a different environment?
Yeah. So a good organization, first of all, it starts with the first person that you speak to, which is your HR person who makes you sign up. I think they make you comfortable or not comfortable. So HR is trained to be welcoming, to explain to you, what the program is about, what the organization is about.
Yeah.
And so proper onboarding and induction is big.
Yes.
It's very important. They, taking you around the building, telling you what the organization is about, what we believe in, what are the values,
Yes.
who you're reporting to, making you meet other people so that you don't feel like, oh, this is an island.
Yeah.
Plays a critical role. So that's how organizations, get people into that. And then again, within an environment of a team, leaders play a good role in terms of welcoming you, looking at you in an eye, and remembering your name, and making sure that they integrate you into the team. And if you are in a good team, team members will go with you to
Yes.
lunch. They'll explain what it is. So those are the things that in a perfect work environment are meant to make you integrate yourself well, learn until you just find that, this is home and I belong here. And once you feel like that, they are more likely to get more from you.
Yes.
You will see talents that you never thought you'll have, and you'll be the best employee ever.
I agree. And with the cultures that have been developed by organizations, in your observation, what do you feel that is a great working environment, a positive one? Is it influenced by the relationship, number one, that people have with leaders? I just want to know that what is a perfect working environment?
So perfect is, there are no perfect things.
Yeah.
All right. But a work environment is curated, Babi. So just like at home, you've got your parents, you know what they believe in. They tell you, this is our vision as a family, and these are the behaviors, these are the things that we do every day. So you get to understand that, okay, this is how we do things. This is what is acceptable. This is what is not.
Yes.
And organizational culture is also curated very well. So where leaders get to set the tone about the vision, what is the purpose of this organization?
Yeah.
What are our values? So how will we make decisions? Are we a caring organization? Or, what is it that is important to us? Is it innovation?
Yes.
So then you get to understand what you can do and what you can't do and where we're going. So what makes a perfect organization is a very clear purpose, clear values, clear behaviors that are accepted. It's all the processes also. If they say this is a caring environment, I should have felt it when I got into the organization. So they live according to what they've written down. You feel it. Leaders play an important role because every time they engage with you, it has to feel like what they promised it is.
Yes, exactly.
Your team members, your stakeholders. When I come across somebody and I ask about a particular organization, They have to say things that we said we are, which means you are being experienced the way you've written down who you are.
Yeah.
And that's what a good kind of a culture is. It's well curated and it's never finished. Every day you work on it because there's behaviors, then we communicate, then we conflict, and
Yes.
how we manage all of that. It's us adding to the kind of a culture that we want to see.
I love that.
Ever going. Yeah.
I love that. And I'm also thinking as we speak now, do you agree that maybe a good enough culture in an organization promotes productivity, and are people conducive in a good environment, and what impacts an employee in an environment that is not created well? The culture that's not created well in an environment.
That's not good for anyone. We know we've had friends or friendship groups where people were loving, and we know how that feels. And we've had friendship groups where people were gossiping and they were saying negative things. Immediately, you just don't feel the best. You can't tell them what you're trying to do. They're not celebrating you. So an organization that is toxic, it's like that garden that I was talking about, where the soil is good and the plant is growing. Now, take this plant and put it in a place where the soil is bad. You know what happens? It dies.
Yeah.
And that's what happens to us. We die spiritually when we are in a toxic
when you're not
kind
well
of
fed.
environment. You become sick. You are scared to air your views. Or to have a conflict, because if I've got a good relationship with you, I can tell you that, you know what, I think we should do something differently, or we can have a conflict and come back and hug. But in a toxic environment, a small thing that you say that is not the same as what I'm saying could be a seriously big fight. And now you have to wake up and think, I'm going to that place tomorrow. Your heart pounds, you are hurt, you are scared to even speak in a meeting, you are scared to try things. You start to say, you know what, I'm sick, I'm not coming. So you can see absenteeism going up.
Yes.
And good people leave because, why am I supposed to put myself in such an environment? Then you start losing people. So that kind of a toxic environment is not going to make any company achieve what they want. Remember, we don't open companies to have a good culture. That's not the reason why.
Exactly.
We want to have money, have profit, business performance.
Yes.
But it's very important to understand what is it in our environment that will make people become their best so that we can achieve what we want. So a toxic culture does the opposite. People are busy with politics, with hats, with absenteeism, with being not well. You can see that your talent is not really, when I say talent, I mean your employees. They are not energized enough. They're not giving you your best. Of course, your customers are not having a good experience.
Yes.
Then clearly, it's surely you're not going to be a profitable organization that will be successful, and your employees are not going to achieve what they want to achieve in terms of their purpose because they are busy fighting hohos.
Yes, and you touched on something that I'm very curious about. Friendships in an organization, close relationships. Do you feel that they are, what's the word for it? Is it okay to have those kind of friendships? Do they impact one's productivity in the business? Is it not good to be close, with people and establish good relationships, which ultimately affects how you view the organization as a whole?
I think it depends. Other people might say it's not a good thing, just be professional. But from an organizational culture perspective, the research shows that if people have got friends at work, they are more likely to work in that environment for a long time.
Okay.
It feels good to be at work. If I've got people that are supportive, that are developing me, that are truly liking me, I'm not thinking about finding another job.
Exactly, yeah.
So it's good to have authentic, good relationships, and that kind of friendship that is underlined by the values. Remember, we understand what are the values, what are the behaviors that are accepted and not accepted, and just making sure that you're still professional. But I think it's very good to have good relationships at work is the most important thing. So if you've got a problem or suddenly something happens,
Yeah.
you can go back to somebody who's your friend and be like, listen, this is what is happening, and people can rally around you. But if there's no friendship much, people will not go out of their way to help you. You might feel isolated and
Yeah.
all of that. So the likelihood that you'll stay longer or that you will give your best is less. So at work, we are also family. Of
Yes.
course, the values are different. You don't bring your own values from home, but we can create love at work. There's more research about love at work, good love, family kind of a thing. Um, that just helps. Can you imagine during COVID,
Yeah.
if you didn't have a friend,
Ish,
you
yeah.
know, at work, or you didn't have a good relationship? It was, it was not
It was
going.
difficult.
Yeah,
It
so you
was
needed
difficult.
somebody to lean on when you've got challenges and all of
Yes.
that. Yeah, so
Yes.
that's quite critical.
You mentioned something that kind of sparked some curiosity as well. You mentioned research. And what does research say about people who are more likely to, what are the points that are raised that suggest that people are more likely to stay longer in an organization because of the culture?
Yeah. So people are more likely people are more likely to stay if they are being well led. So that's what the research says.
Okay.
So people don't leave organizations; they leave bad managers. I
Okay,
don't know
I
if
love
you've heard
that. I
about
think
that.
I've seen this on LinkedIn a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So we could be in the same kind of environment. You've got a good leader, I've got a bad leader. And when we ask you about this work environment, you're like, oh, it's so fantastic and all of that because you're in a good
Yes.
team. And I could be having an individual that's just not a good leader, and I could experience the very same organization badly.
Yeah.
So the first thing that research says is that people will leave bad leaders, and a leader is somebody you spend time with, your manager. They get to determine how your everyday life is.
Yes.
Just like at home, your parent and your parent gets to determine, whether you want to run back home and be
Yeah.
like, or you like, oh, can I just sit at your house first? I'll go there
Yeah.
later, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And there's a big research that talks about employee loyalty.
Yes.
People will become loyal to an organization that is treating them well, that is developing them. They
Yeah.
will speak about that
Oh,
organization.
sorry. I didn't think it would do that. Yeah.
They will speak about that organization very well, even outside. So a good culture is where what people say inside the organization,
Yeah.
what leaders say, is what even your customers are experiencing it. When you go to a shop, you know which environments we make fun of, and we're like, oh, there. When you go there,
Yeah. Hey.
the relationship, like it's not
Yeah.
a good kind of
Yeah.
customer experience. But there are places where you can guarantee that the service almost comes with that kind of a thing. So yeah, there's quite a lot of research around good cultures. There's even research linking to wellness, where if you've got a good culture, your employees are more likely to be well.
Yes.
And where there's toxic culture, people will literally mostly become sick. So there's research about how much profit you make if your employees are working well together, good
Yes.
relationships. They're giving their best. There's also that. So yeah,
Okay.
there's a lot.
A lot. And when it comes to this research, I assume that the answers come from employees themselves, where perhaps they'd be filling out surveys, or how are researchers gaining their feedback
Yeah.
about company or organizational culture rather.
Yeah. So even within an organization, you were asking, how do we curate a good culture?
Yes.
So there are lots of surveys that go on.
Okay.
So there's employee engagement surveys and culture surveys where once you've created it, you would have to ask your employees. We said these are the values. How do you rate your experience
Yes.
against these values? Do you understand where we're going?
Okay.
Do your leaders communicate well? Do you understand what is your role every day? Do you have tools of work every
Yes.
day? Do you understand? Do you understand our processes? When there is a challenge, do you know where to go to? Do you feel supported within your immediate work environment? Your team, is your team supportive?
Yes.
So can you see, you're asking a lot of different questions to identify where you're doing very well and where you
Okay.
need
To improve.
to improve. Same with outside the organization, those researches that are made, they'll take different kind of industries,
Okay.
different levels of employees, different genders and ages, and they average it out. And
Okay.
they follow these organizations over a long period of time. And then you are able to get good research around. Sometimes it's an industry specific research, or it would be across industries just around people management and stuff like that. So it is a good practice
Okay.
to always have those surveys.
Okay.
Sometimes you could have a survey at every interval of employee value chain. So when I join, the whole recruitment and onboarding, there will be a survey about it. How did you feel
Okay,
about your
yes,
first call,
yes.
about your interview, about your induction? After 3 months, how have you experienced the organization?
Yeah.
After some time, how do you understand your goals, and how are you reaching those? Up to the last time where you are exiting the organization, there are things called exit
Interview.
surveys
Yeah,
and
okay.
interviews where you get asked, what is the reason you're leaving and all of that. So you need to always be able to get feedback, because culture, and a good culture, is not about me telling you, oh, this is my home, this is what you do. It's about me saying, who are you, Babi? How are you experiencing this environment? How can I make it better for you so that you can succeed? And me looking at those things, adapting them,
Yeah.
so that ultimately the work environment and culture becomes better and better.
I love that. I love that so much. And I think this would be great advice actually to institutions or organizations that don't have methods that they can use to either improve or enhance their employee experience. But as you are mentioning, your research insights, which I really love, I'm more curious if employers take that research and try their best to become better or maybe change the direction of their culture. Does it help a lot when they receive their feedback?
Yeah. So a good organization
Yeah.
asks questions and feedback because they've got good intentions.
Okay.
They want to look at the thing. First of all, it costs money to put out a survey out there.
Yes.
And it's costing time for employees to fill it in, and for us to analyze the results
Yeah.
and get feedback. So can you imagine if you're an organization that's going through all of that, only not to listen, just to say, oh, I did it. I don't know what
Yeah.
value, it would give. But it's possible that you could be in an organization where people can't do that because they're just used to it. But a good organization invests time and money in this because they really want good insights, and they listen to the insights, and they pick what are the top 3 or 5 things that we're hearing that are positive, and they give feedback to employees and other stakeholders. And then they look at what are the bottom 3 or 5 things that we need to work,
Yeah.
and they have conversations again with employees, because remember, you were just ticking and whatever. So now we are having a conversation to get more in terms of what did you mean when you rated this. And that's how organizations grow. So they'll take these 3 things, incorporate them into their programs, and make sure that these things are addressed. And after a period of time, they retest it again and see if are we making progress or not. And just like that, that's just how you do it well.
Okay. And in your experience, have you ever been in an organization where they don't do the research to check whether people in their environment are coping or not? And I'm asking because I want to understand what happens, what is likely to happen to organizations that don't implement such initiatives to also help themselves grow and to retain and their employees.
I have not personally been in it, but I do think sometimes, as much as this is embedded, this is how organizations do. Survey. Let's do a survey.
Yeah.
Some organizations do it as a tick box exercise. So I've
Okay.
experienced where we're just doing it because a good company does this, and if somebody audits you, or if we want to put on our website, we're like, oh, we are a top employer.
Okay.
This is what we've done.
Okay, yeah.
But actually, people don't take it. Either certain leaders, because it's a responsibility of each leader, or the organizations like, oh, look at that. Oh yeah, no. Then they shove it away. So that's why I said if you do not do that, you are wasting money. I'd rather not do it at all.
Yeah.
You are buying the survey.
Yeah.
You are asking everyone's time to do it. You are taking time to give feedback.
Yeah.
And then there's no return on investment. So if you are a business person and you're doing that, I don't know. I mean, if you think about it, it's you just working against yourself.
Yes.
But it does happen, So I would like to encourage that we use that information to better ourselves because
Yeah.
we've already invested time. And it costs a lot, Babala, to lose an employee that you've recruited. Recruitment costs are high.
Yes.
To run a business with employees is costly. So if you do not do it well, I'm going to employ you now, you're going to leave. It's a rotating door, then I'm employing somebody else, then somebody else. So it's not a good practice. But also from an employee perspective, it's very important for us to be truthful in the surveys and be more explicit so that it's well understood what is it that is troubling us, because by airing your voice, putting your voice out there, you are making your environment better if your company takes it
Okay.
serious.
Yeah.
And there is confidentiality around it.
Yes. Okay, and maybe to loosen up a little bit, what advice would you give to someone who is about to, embark on their first employment journey? What would you like to say in terms of the journey overall, how they should look at it and how to grow essentially?
I think that, when you are young or you haven't had experience, it's very difficult for you to understand who you are. But
Exactly.
but I think there are things that we already know. You know that as Pabalo, I'm this, what is your personality like? What is your character? What are your values?
Yes.
Spend time understanding yourself. In that, you will be able to also understand what kind of environment do I want or how do I thrive. So you know that if I'm an introvert, I thrive in places like this.
Yes.
And not. So when you get opportunities, you are able to look at that organization, look at what they say they're doing, what are their values, are they the same, what is the experience, what do people say, do you when you put yourself there, do you think it will work? When you go for interviews, look for those things. Do I think I'm going to, connect there or not? Just have that basic awareness. I think it's very important from a culture perspective. And also, if you know yourself, you know how you contribute when you eventually get to the organization. You will play to your strengths to contribute so that you can also enhance that kind of a culture.
Yeah.
And you can bring one of your strengths in your team and they feel like, oh, life is no longer the same since, we've got
Exactly.
Pablo there. So I think self-awareness, getting to learn and trying to align who you are and the organizations that you are going to ask for, that you're going to interview with or join. I think it's the first most important thing. And then once you are there, get involved.
Yeah, ne?
Be curious. Get involved. This is how people get to know who you are.
Exactly.
And what strengths you have. They involve you in things. And eventually when opportunities are there, you will be picked. I mean, that's how I also got to where I am. I didn't know about culture and all of that.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, as I grow up, I don't even know much about careers because no one, I mean, I didn't come from my immediate family was not, my mother and father were not career people. But as time goes, having to engage with people, understanding, getting involved in things, you learn a lot, and people identify and they're like, you know what, we think you can do this. And saying yes
Yeah.
to opportunities.
Yes.
Because sometimes when opportunities are there, we're so scared that, you know what, I've never done this. So say yes to opportunities, be willing to learn and fail and start again, to be mentored and all of that. Then definitely you will see yourself growing, you will have more exposure, and your growth will be much more faster.
Okay, I love that so much because you're speaking, I think, to a lot of our, to majority of our audience, which I feel your advice will be very, very, very vital for. And just a light-hearted question as well. I'm just listening to you and I'm just very intrigued about who you were before, and I want to know which day would you like to go back to, or the day that stood out for you in your life? Which one would it be and why?
I think the day that I was accepted for a scholarship. So when I was in high school, my friends used to know what am I, especially in like metric, people will be like, "Oh, I'm going to VET, I'm going to UJ,
Yeah,
Saturday classes," and you like, you don't even comment on that because you're like, I don't know where
Yeah.
I'm going, I don't have money for
Yeah.
that, so you're very like silent.
Yeah.
So what I did was the craziest thing ever. I used to write to companies and
Okay.
ask for scholarship.
Okay.
Tell every address that I get when there is a product and there's an address at the back, I would look at. Oh, remember we're writing that time.
Yeah.
PO Box 123.
Yeah.
And I would ask for opportunities. And I might have sent over 200 emails.
Yeah.
I mean, not even emails, letters
Yeah.
to organizations that did not say that they've got bursaries or whatever. I was just like, guys, please, if you have, do this. None of them responded to me.
Sure.
So this opportunity of a teacher sending me forms for a scholarship and me applying for it and actually getting a response that says we've accepted you told me that I will be out of the environment that I was. I had future. I was going to be, have a degree, which I did, and I took that opportunity and I told myself, I'm not repeating anything. I'm completing this thing, and it gave me hope because suddenly I knew what am I doing with my life, and so that's the best thing that has ever happened because from there. I never looked back in terms of ongoing learning and opportunities. And if that did not happen, I don't know where would I be.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's the best moment for me.
I love that. And I really applaud you because knowing myself, I would have lost the patience and the hope and just felt like it's not gonna work. So I really commend you for that. It's a very touching story that I really hope that wherever you are, you really just changing your perspective and changing your attitude more especially to become the best version of yourself. And we've reached our parting, or rather the end of the episode. And what are your parting words to our lovely viewers?
So I want to say anything is possible if you can make it happen. Like you need to if you tell yourself, oh, it's done, I can't do it, you are right because you're not going to do it.
Sure.
But if you tell yourself that I'm going to do my best and keep on keeping on, because I hear that, you hear stories of other people. You are prophesying to your future because one day it's like people who play lotto, not that I like lotto players,
Yeah.
but the mindset is that every day is an opportunity. Every day
Exactly.
is an opportunity. You don't remember, if you play, it's the same. If you don't play, nothing will happen. So in life, if you do not take a step, you already know what the answer is. But if you keep on taking steps and nothing happens, eventually something will happen and you will thank yourself that you did not give up on yourself. Because you can't give up on yourself and want other people to bet on you.
Yeah.
But you first gave up on yourself.
Yeah.
So you need to tell yourself that there must be a reason why I'm here and I'm meant for success, and I'm going to try over and over until I get what I want. And as you're trying, you are collecting a lot of experience that you don't know how you're going to use in the future. So I'm saying, get out there, knock on that door until they open. Don't give up on yourself. That's how we will get to know who you were meant to be.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you. That was very, very powerful. And we have a culture here. We would like to show our appreciation. Firstly, thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing your knowledge with us, because we were honestly a little bit clueless about what we're discussing today. But you've opened our minds, and we'd just like to say thank you. We've got something for you.
Thank you so much. It's an absolute privilege for me to be here and for me to share. So, yeah, I'm happy
Thank you.
to engage further.
Go ahead.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. We hope to have you again. For people who would like to know more about you, where do they find you?
So I am on LinkedIn. I know young people might not, especially who have not started working, might not be on LinkedIn. Guys, you can't be looking for a job and opportunities or want to be known if you don't have a LinkedIn profile.
Exactly.
It's like you selling something, but only you and your friend and your sister know that you're selling it. The world doesn't know.
Yeah.
So I am on LinkedIn as Nomthandazo Mavuso. So yeah, you can inbox me, you can connect. And I'm quite very easy to engage and share more.
Okay, thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, we've reached the end of our episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. We love and appreciate you. We'll see you next time. Same rules apply. Thank you. It's your sizzling host, Fabi Mawela. See you next time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.